Have you ever heard the saying that when someone doesn't have their health, it's the only thing in the world they wish they had? If you've ever been really unwell or have ever suffered a major health setback, I'm sure you'll agree that this is true. Personally, myself, I used to be obese when I was younger, and more recently, last year, I suffered some heart issues, which is pretty scary, right? When you think this one organ in your body can just stop working and you'll die. I mean, it gets pretty scary. So that came about from not looking after myself enough, not sleeping enough, not resting enough, working too hard. And the whole point of this video I want to talk to you about is how being healthy is so closely tied to our happiness. And I want to talk about every now and then in these videos about happiness, because I know it's a business and marketing channel, but if we're not happy and healthy, what's the whole point of being in business for ourselves? Why not just go work for someone else, right? We're doing it in the pursuit of happiness. So one of the keys to happiness, I believe, is being healthy. Not just healthy in body, but that how it makes us feel in our mind. So I'm going to give some quick tips today based on my experience in losing 30 kilos and keeping it off now for the last 15 years. And also I used to own a gym where I'd helped thousands of people lose weight as well. Because like I said, when you feel good and you're healthy, you don't just feel good physically, you have more energy, which is great, but you feel good mentally. You feel good about yourself. Your head feels clearer. You feel happier in general. So I'm going to give you 9 tips I think I've written down here, and you can choose to take them or leave them. I know it's hard to make changes to your health, even if you want to. I fully understand that. I've been through ups and downs in my journey, and like I've said, I've helped heaps of people through that journey as well. So I understand, especially if you're obese or if you've been unhealthy or overweight for a long time, it's a very long process and it's a very complicated process. It's not just about eating less, exercising more, which is how we lose weight, but it's not that simple. So here's some tips. Hopefully I can help you. I'd love for you to comment under this video if any of these tips help you, or if you actually are going to try some. That'd be really cool. Key tip number 1 I've written down is when starting any exercise program, the biggest mistake that I see people make is they go all in on day 1. So how many times have you said, I'm going to, like maybe it's January 1st, or you sign up for a health challenge at your gym or something, and it's like a 6-week challenge, or it's a 4-week challenge, or it's a 12-week challenge, right? And you have to cut out all the foods you like, and you have to exercise for an hour every single day for 6 days. And you get 2 weeks into it and you give up. Okay. If you've ever done this, that's completely normal. That's why I'm not a big fan of these challenge style weight loss programs, although they do have a lot of benefit. They're time focused, so you can focus on something for a specific amount of time and you can see great results, especially early on, but they're not sustainable. Now, it's okay if you want to make some changes to get a kickstart like that, but one of the biggest things that I've learned is small changes over time beats a lot of changes at one time, because science has shown us over and over again that the people who make smaller changes over time and they see it as a long-term change, they keep those results. It might not be as motivating at the start because the scales aren't like dropping a kilo a week, 2 kilos a week. It depends how much weight you have to lose, but small things over time. Change one thing at a time, especially with exercise, right? You don't want to get so sore that you can't move the next day. So start with a 15-minute walk on day 1. And that's just all week. You do a 15-minute walk every day or 3 days a week. The next week you do a half an hour walk. The next week you do a 45-minute walk. Next week you do an hour walk. The next week you jog for 2 minutes and you walk for 10. Jog for 2, walk for 10, jog for 2, walk for 10. Next week you go 3 minutes and then 7, 3 and 7, 3 and 7. And you just slowly increase it. And the cool thing is about exercises, you can lose weight doing any type of exercise. This is actually tip 2. You don't have to do any specific type of exercise. Start small, especially if you're big. Start something that's low impact, that's not going to make you feel too sore. Work your way up. But you can do anything. You can do walking and then you progress to jogging, because you need to progress past walking if you want to get fit, because you need to get your heart up. You can do cycling. You can do circuit training, weight training. You can do a sport. You can do anything like that. So all these things are great. You don't have to pick one. If you don't like running, you don't have to run. If you don't like the gym and that kind of scene, you don't have to go to the gym. You can walk up a hill. You can get a bike. You can do anything like that. But it just has to start somewhere. It has to be sustainable, something you can enjoy over time. Tip 3, you can get fat eating healthy foods, and you can lose weight by eating unhealthy foods. This is something that a lot of people don't understand. There's a difference between foods that are going to help you lose weight and foods that are going to be healthy. They don't always go together, right? And before I really understood like a lot, like everything about weight loss, I would eat really, really, really healthy food. I was into this organic phase many, many years ago where I'd eat everything organic and not a single treat, not a single food that wasn't like natural and organic and nothing processed. And I put on weight, okay, because I was eating too much calories. Calories is the key, right? So if you want to be healthy and lose weight, you eat mostly natural foods and you have to track your calories so you're eating less. So I was eating a lot of sweet potato, a lot of coconut oil, a lot of that stuff, as well as like vegetables and meat, a lot of meat. So there was just too many calories and I was just gaining weight and I couldn't figure it out. So that is the key. You can lose weight eating McDonald's. People have done it. You can lose weight on a diet of ice cream and McDonald's and alcohol. You just feel horrible because there's no nutrients in them and you're hungry all the time because they don't fill you up. So you want to eat foods that can fill you up, mostly have nutrients. You have to have some treats, but just less of them. And you have to have less calories than you burn.
I just want to take a second to ask you for a small favor. If you're finding this video helpful, if you could just tap the like button underneath it, I'd be really grateful. That will tell the YouTube algorithm to share this video with more massage therapists around the world. And hopefully that will help them all earn more income, which is what they deserve. Thanks for helping.
And this is tip 4. You need to include foods in your weight loss plan that you enjoy. Otherwise, you'll give up. Okay, no one's going to eat foods that they don't enjoy and stick with it. No one. My diet plan today, I've never enjoyed food more, and I eat ice cream when I want. I have low calorie ice cream, Halo Top. I have soft drink when I want. I have low calorie soft drink. I have takeaway almost every day, but it's in America, it's almost like Chipotle. In Australia, it's called Guzman Gomez. It's like a Mexican thing. Love that. I have ice blocks every night after dinner, and they're like no calorie ice blocks. And they taste 90% like the normal, like the real thing. I have chocolate every day, but it's low calorie chocolate and it just actually tastes really good. So then I eat like healthy foods as well. Like I'll have oats and I'll have meat and veg and I'll have omelets and stuff like that. But these are things I just really enjoy. And you just have to find foods like the lower calorie versions that ideally naturally sweetened, because there's nothing wrong with artificial sweetness for a health perspective. But I find that people who have too many artificial sweeteners, including myself, when I have a lot of serves of artificial sweeteners, I crave sugar more. It's just like I get this craving for it. So naturally sweetened stuff is a bit better. Tip 5, my biggest key to weight loss success is consistency and not going good all week and then blowing out on the weekend. If you are 500 to 1,000 calories under every day because you're exercising hard and you're eating right, you can blow it all out on the weekend. Okay, if you've got 500 calorie deficit for 5 days, that's 2,500 calories in deficit. If you have 2 good days on the weekend, you can lose half a kilo. But if you have 2 bad days on the weekend, you can erase that calorie deficit. And it's the most common issue I see. People drink on the weekends and people eat junk food. They go out with their friends, their social time, they drink, they eat, they catch up with people, they have cake or whatever. Or for guys, they drink and have fried food. It's the biggest problem. So you think, how am I going to lose weight if I can't give up drinking? I don't want to give up drinking. I have friends, I get it. And that is one of the biggest problems as well, is when you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to change a lifestyle during the week, but you're still around people that drink all the time, that eat unhealthy food. And you have to make some decisions. You don't have to give up all your friends, although sometimes you're going to have to reduce the amount of times you catch up with friends and it's all about drinking. But when you do drink, hopefully you can drink less. You can eat less junk food, but when you do drink, it's about making smart swap outs again. So for me, I have switched from beer. I have a couple beers if I drink, like a couple beers, and I switch to a spirits and no calorie mixer. So it could be vodka lime soda, or I could have whiskey on the rocks, or it could be White Claws, like seltzer. They're really good. Just cutting out the beer and the high sugar mixes and stuff like that. Snacking and fried food, you just always try and eat before you go out and not have to snack on stuff. That's a big thing. But yeah, changing your environment, that's my next tip. And not putting yourself in these bad situations is key, or minimizing them at least. Because yeah, if your whole family or your friends they all eat and drink and they're all obese, you do have to make some changes. You don't have to cut all your friends out, but you have to make some changes. Next tip is you have to keep track of some key metrics regularly to see if you're on the right track. Now, a lot of people roll their eyes when they hear, counting calories, but for me, it's been the single biggest trick to myself losing weight and to all my clients who lost weight consistently and kept it off. They track their calories. And you don't have to do it every day. You can just do it for at least a couple days or a couple weeks or a couple days a month just to see if you're on track, because I guarantee 99% of the reason people aren't losing weight and they think they're doing everything right is because they're eating too much food and they don't know it. That is 99% the truth, the problem. For me, I use MyFitnessPal. It takes some time getting used to. You got to like weigh out your foods and stuff, but honestly, it takes me about 3 minutes a day to put my food in MyFitnessPal. 3 minutes. And I can guarantee myself that I'm going to not put on weight or I'm going to lose it if I want. And that's a guarantee if I just plan out my day in MyFitnessPal and I stick to those foods. So when I want to have a drink of alcohol, I will have less carbs during the day on purpose, just more high protein stuff. And I'll have my carbs in the alcohol, my calories in the beer or the alcohol later in the day. You can play around with stuff like that. So I know I'm going out drinking tomorrow. It's like a big races day here in where I live in Townsville. And so for breakfast, instead of having like oats, I'll just have an omelet, okay, with no carbs. And before I go out for lunch, I'll just have meat and salad instead of having like a Mexican burrito because that's got carbs through it. So I'll just have protein in the morning and I'll have alcohol in the afternoon with some protein for dinner, and I can fit it all into my day, the calories. And by the way, you don't have to hit the calories every day. You don't have to get it right every day. You can just go over every now and then. But when you track your calories, you know how much you went over and you can minimize the damage. And also you should weigh yourself every day if you're trying to lose weight. I don't weigh myself much anymore, but when I was trying to lose weight every day, it's backed by science that the more often someone weighs or measures, if you don't like the scales, do a measurement of your belly or your hips, and it's just tracking that measurement to see if you're on track. It's like a self-feedback loop. If you're staying on track, keep doing it. If you're not, change something. You can see it in the measurements. Final tip is it didn't take you 12 weeks to get unhealthy, so don't expect it to take you 12 weeks to change your lifestyle and become healthy and lose all your weight. Okay, it takes small changes over time, and there's going to be ups and downs, and you're going to fall off and you're going to get back on, and just don't get so hard on yourself if you don't succeed this time or you have a blowout, okay? The worst thing you can do is get so hard on yourself and then give up. So don't be so hard on yourself, but always get back on the wagon if you have a blowout or if you have a problem. That's my tips, guys. It's all about health because I believe health is one of the keys to happiness, and we're all trying to be happy. Otherwise, what's the point of being in business for ourselves? What's the point of trying to get better in our life if it's not for trying to be happier? And so health is a big part of that. But the next few weeks, I'll be back to the business and marketing tips. I've got some really cool videos coming up. So I'll see you in the next video and have a great day.